think I've made it quite known on this channel that romance is my least favourite genre. It's just my personal preference. But when I first saw the poster and trailer to It's a Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, it's very fair to say I was quite intrigued. Margot Robbie is my favourite actress of all time, my favourite actress right now. I love everything about what she does. And Colin Farrell is one of my favourite actors working right now. I really enjoy him. Add Kogonada as the director, who also directed After Yang in 2021, who also had Colin Farrell starring in that one. You piqued my interest. Then the reviews started coming in and I was just a bit shocked. I didn't really expect this to be reviewed this badly and this low. Now I've seen the film, yes, it should be this low. It's a big, bold, beautiful mess. I do actually think the premise is relatively interesting. It isn't your casual romance movie. There's a massive fantasy element to the film where it also explores the past memories and moments from both David, played by Colin Farrell, and Sarah, played by Margot Robbie, but not as flashbacks like what is more common in other movies, but reliving these moments literally. They are physically there. It's not like time travel, but they're physically there. They both embark on a journey in which they first didn't want to undertake. They didn't want to go on this journey, but after physically being back in these moments and learning about themselves, they try to understand who they are, what they want, and they do end up being grateful in going on this journey. It's one of self-discovery for the two of them, in which they both go through together, and aspects of the messaging does come through. Taking the risk to go on this journey can pay off and work in your favour. The problem with this film is it wasn't executed well, like, at all. I'm surprised some of that messaging came through to me. I think the film and the filmmakers are so obsessed with the actual journey and this premise in which to access these moments, they must follow a GPS in which comes from the cars in which the two of them rent. And it tells them where to go. It's actually how they end up meeting. But this GPS tells them where to go, where these doors are, that they're actual physical doors that they have to go through to access each moment. They don't want to focus on the actual romance. They want to focus on all of that stuff and it just completely leaves the romance. Everyone knows how good Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie are at acting. It isn't even a question. They're so talented. And they're not bad in this. They're just not really given anything to work with. I do want to say though, unfortunately, they don't share any chemistry. And that is a little rough considering that is probably the most important thing for the actors to have in a romance film. They both make big points about how they're not really going to be good for each other, how they're probably going to hurt each other. And I think us as an audience, we're supposed to be either in disagreement or at least want them to be together. But all of this just meant I actually couldn't care less. I've seen a lot of criticism for the film being about how confusing the film is with the journey, with the structure of the film. And even though I wasn't that confused by all of that, I think it's a completely valid criticism. I can for sure see why people find this confusing. There are a few things which happen which aren't explained at all, and there are things happening in this final moment on this journey which they're both going through. There were things happening there where, yeah, I was a bit confused as well, so I do see that. I just really struggled to engage with this, and this isn't entirely because of how confusing the film can be. I was just really bored for a lot of it. I just found it really boring, along with the sheer lack of chemistry between Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie, to the script which just felt robotic in the sense that there was no emotion in the writing and the dialogue just didn't feel right, like at all. It just didn't feel real. For each moment which we were looking at and each memory, they were really trying to go for the emotional side from when they were younger and their parts. But as I mentioned earlier, I just couldn't care less, and the film was just losing me a lot. The film is actually quite nice visually though. They use colours to keep the film bright. There's a lot of use of red and blue and yellow, whether it ranges from the colours of the buildings to the colours of the outfits to just the general locations and where the doors are. And I really like a nice and colourful film, but the contrast of how colourful the film is compared to how grey and lifeless the relationship between Sarah and David is, it was a weird juxtaposition, as the relationship should have been as colourful as the visuals. This was quite a disappointment, which is kind of an odd thought for me for a romance movie, as like I said earlier, most of them I don't like. The intriguing premise just doesn't distract from the poor execution and writing, and the lack of chemistry between Farrell and Robbie makes for a romance which just isn't believable. So I'm going to give A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey 2 stars, closer to a 1.5 than 2.5. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe on all of my content. I'm on a lot of things now. I'm going to try and be a lot more consistent on a lot of stuff, and if I sound really weird because I'm recovering from a cold, If you liked A Big Bold Beautiful Journey, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. I want to hear all your thoughts on this film, and I'll see you in the next.